Hello everyone and welcome to Connors of Speed Tier 3. My name is Thomas, next to me is Lewis and we're here in Britain at the Silverstone circuit for the British Grand Prix. As I said, Lewis is in the commentary box with me. How are you doing, mate?
I'm all good, thanks. Good evening, everyone. It's good. It's great to be here on virtual home soil at Silverstone, and looking forward to another fantastic race. And we have a championship that could potentially be decided, haven't we?
Yes, 100%. I will quickly get the information up
Yeah.
which we got from them, because he made a brilliant summary of what has to happen if we want to get a championship decided today. We've got the opportunity for Jamie James to be crowned Tier 3 champion today if he outscores Wizard by 18 points, or if Wizard fails to outscore Jamie James by more than 10 points. We will keep you guys up to date about everything that's going on the virtual standings side of it. Unfortunately, we don't bring up the screen which they do in real life, where they actually show the virtual standings, but we will tell you guys, so just pay attention to the stream and you will know what is going on. And if you hear me scream towards the end of the lobby or a stream, then you know that Jimmy James is champion.
So, at the moment, a lot of people are just coming out. It's overcast currently for quality. Oh, a little bit of a moment there. Max and Aston Martin, it looks like, got obviously, I'm guessing it's Danny Boy, because it's the only one Aston Martin. But they almost had it coming together on the outlap. Don't quite get what Max is doing. He's a bit close to the Aston Martin. Now he backs out of it. So you don't want to be too close for your quali lap. I think those guys, I'm trying to see who are on hot laps right now. Blaze is on a hot lap. I think he might be the first one potentially, or it might be Hilly. No, Hilly's the first one out on a hot lap.
Yeah, so Jimmy James, he can win the championships on home soil. Always lovely to do so. Lovely track, Silverstone as well. I really like the flow. Only the sector we're in now with Max, sector 1. The beginning of it is a little bit like stop and go, but other than that, it's like a brilliant circuit to drive on my perspective. I don't know about you, Lewis. What do you think of Silverstone?
Silverstone, yeah, it's a tricky one. It's such. I actually do enjoy Silverstone, personally. Whether or not I have pace or not is sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But it's really enjoyable because of how fast and flowing it is. I feel like if I had a wheel, I would enjoy it even more because the commitment you have to put in, particularly through Maggots and Beckett's, that is just such an advantage for a wheel use, being able to go quickly right and left. But yeah, it's a very wide circuit. I think it's the widest track on the calendar. So that gives it a kind of unique preference, because the wider the track, the kind of harder it is to your perception of the corners are. So if you're new to a circuit like Silverstone, it's kind of tricky to learn off scratch because of that wide nature in certain parts of the circuit. But very fast, very flowing. I feel like in this game, they've modified the ERS, so it's easier to save ERS nowadays than it was in previous games around this track. But it's a very long way of saying, yeah, I do enjoy this track. It's a track that it's not a bad tyre wear kind of circuit, because obviously they use the hardest compounds possible. But when your tyres do get worn out, particularly the rears, you are prone to having a rear-end tank slapper in Cops or Turn 1, like the Abbey section. Not so much Maggots and Beckett's, but yeah, definitely Cops and Turn 1. Yeah, the Abbey Turns 1 and 2. That's areas that we'll be looking out for. In fact, I've seen a spin already in this quali session. Hilly had a spin at Cops. Fortunately, didn't hit the wall, but just shows even on light fuel, it can happen.
Yeah, 100%. Also with the high fuel load and already a bit of tire on those softs, it can happen early on in the race, so don't rule that one out. Charlie puts in a 127.7 on mediums, which puts himself up into P3. Really well done by him. As Two-Spell currently is on pole position. That's exactly what he needs to do for today's race if you don't want to get Jimmy James champion already. Jimmy James, he is currently on his out lap, so let's get on board with him. So we can see what he is building up to. Hopefully for him, a lap that's gonna put him on pole position. Yeah, track where overtaking is possible. You've got different opportunities. You've got the first straight with the DRS. You got it after Mackets and Beckett's on the second straight with DRS as well. Maybe on the start finish straight if you've got a much better exit coming out of the last turn, but it is a little bit of a tricky one as it is a very high speed turn 1. Yeah, other than that, lovely Mackets and Beckett's, and on previous games you really, like you said before, had a big advantage when you were running on the wheel. I think it's a little bit better now for the guys on the pad if you're running through Mackets and Beckett's, but yeah, still on the wheel, and I can say so myself, it's so enjoyable to go through Mackets and Beckett's. One of the best parts on pretty much the whole F1 calendar, I would say. So yeah, really enjoyable to drive.
Yeah, it's a classic, and in real life, I hope that they've always, well, F1's always threatened to leave Silverstone because Silverstone, you know, the money that's needed to acquire Silverstone to be on the calendar, you know, it does make the tickets more expensive around the circuit to come and watch a race. But they've threatened to go to Donington Park in the past, Brands Hatch, but the amount of investment that's gone into Silverstone in the last 10 years, particularly the pits and everything else outside of the circuit, you couldn't have the British Grand Prix anywhere else. Now it is a circuit that's one of the finest on the calendar. As a facility, the track was never in question, and it's one of the oldest. It was the track for the very first F1 race in 1950. So it's one of, when you think of like Monaco, Monza, Spa, Silverstone, like you think of those four circuits as iconic.
Sorry to interrupt, Jimmy James has a massive tank slapper going into Cobb's corner, and he almost lost it, but he saved it on track. It's completely ruined his lap, but at least he's not retired in the wall like Max Verstappen did, so he's all good to go.
And I forgot and obviously the fifth great classic track is Zandvoort, of course.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's been around F1 calendar for decades. Well, back in the 80s, but now, yeah, so I think Zandvoort will be another one in the next few years that becomes a highlight on the calendar as well. But in terms of classics, yeah, Silverstone is right up there, and yeah, glad to see it. May it continue. Currently 2 spells on provisional pole though, 127.011. Good time by the Ferrari driver. Marina in P2 and Mitch P3. Again, Mitch, another race back out there. He did admit, by the way, I know, yes, last week's race was crazy and Mitch didn't know, Mitch finished third in the end. And I said Mitch would probably think, how the hell did he end up finishing that position? And he actually did. That's what he messaged. He's like, how the hell did I end up here? It was a crazy race. And Mitch is getting out, and he's currently P4. Tichy is just set at 27.4, so he's P3 now.
Yeah, solid lap by Tichy, caught the end of it. So with a 127.4 puts himself up into P3, 4 tenths behind his brother, who is still on a net pole position. Hasmania now. He tried to set his fastest lap on the mediums. He's now out on the softs to see what he can do on those set of tires. Probably invalidated this time on the mediums. We've got Stumpy out on track as well, who is on soft straight away. They're pretty much next to each other on track. Hasmania will be the first one crossing the line as he just ended sector 1, and he is purple through there. I don't know if that is a glitch. I know there is a glitch through sector 2, which gives you purple every single time. So I think Hasmania is putting in a really solid lap so far. Let's go on towards Cobb's corner. Flat out through qualifying. Lovely corner. And now the brilliant section, Mackets and Beckett's and Chapel. Going down to 5th gear, then up through the gears once again with the DRS. Tichy on the left hand side. will be brilliant to help each other on this straight to get a little bit of slipstream. Maybe we will see it towards the end of the session. Pit entry on the right hand side, only 3 more corners to negotiate. When the curb starts braking late, you want to avoid those Sochi's curbs on the inside because it will get the car all over the place. On towards the line, and as Mania puts in a 127.2, but the field looks really, really competitive tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, is on a hot lap. Bama is on a hot lap. He is currently a 10th up on his previous best, P2, on track. And we go on just to see what it's like. It's coming up towards Maggotts and Beckett's. Sector 2 will be ending when you get towards the exit of Beckett's. And what is it? And he's nearly 3/10 up now. So he's on course for a provisional pole. Gets Stowe coming up through. Oh no, he's pitting.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
We've got Stomp who invalidated his previous lap. Oh, and he's round. I just got the end of it. At the end, coming out of Cobb's corner. He lost it. He's back going again. No damage. Oh, and he got in the way of that Red Bull. And I think, yeah, that was Profodas, and he won't be happy with that one. Is he still improving though? Yes, he is by 7/10. He did a 127.9 on mediums and he moves out of the way as he wanted to get a little bit of slipstream from the Williams in front through Stowe. Don't run wide because it will give you an invalidation. He goes on with the lap. What can the Dutchie in the Red Bull do? Coming out of the last turn on towards the line. Get a good exit. What is Profodas going to do? A 127.1 as well. P3 so far for the Dutchman.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Titchdy literally somehow managed to invalidate it right at the
We've
end.
got another one off at Corps. This time it's Cygate.
It happens. It's so easy to do. And that is it for him. Yeah, Titchy managed to lose it, somehow go too wide in the final corner, and yeah, invalidated.
That means that this lap is also invalidated. Yeah, this means, yeah, that's why this lap time is showing a red track as well, because if you make a mistake on the final turn, it counts towards the current and next lap, which is really unfortunate for Tichy. But he's doing the same strategy like he did last week, where he's doing a sort of long run on the softs, and then trying to put in a quick lap towards the end of the session, which is interesting. We've got Jizzy in the chat. He says current pole is half a second off of Jack Hawkey's time yesterday. That's impressive from Jack Hawkey, but I know he's quick because somehow I raced against that guy as well in EU1, so he's doing a good job, and I think he will definitely get promoted to EU3, if not EU2, next season. We are busy, or well, I say we, Matty and Dan, especially Matty, is really busy trying to figure and sort it all out for next season, as we want to get 4 really stable tiers in next season, as it has been a little bit of a up and down season 8. But yeah, you guys will get all the information in the next couple of weeks. Let's go on board with Jimmy James. As he puts in with 126.8, a little bit late, but he is pulling up to the task of trying to get champion today, and now it's up to 2spell to try and improve on the 126.8 from Jimmy James.
Charlie's out on the hot lap. Electric Blade, oh, he's backed out though. He's obviously not had a great first sector. Electric Blade has obviously got, it had the incident with the walks. His front wing is completely missing on that house. He was the only other one. Now Bama is on a hot lap. Just started. So Bama's a good person to look out for now. He's the only other one really on a competitive lap so far. And he's about to enter sector 2 very shortly. He's got a car ahead of him. Everything gets out of the way. Yeah, and he's a 10th up.
Yeah, 10th up. So already on like the 127.0. Now he wants to improve to get into the 126. Hopefully for him. The Aston Martin gets out of the way nicely. A little bit of slipstream from, I think that is Danny Boy. It is, because he's the only Aston Martin out there. Great job, Thomas. Now, to the mighty Mackets and Beckets. How good is Bama's Sector 2? What?
Good. It's good. I think this is going to come through. Ah, he's only slightly up.
Oh, and he's weaving across the track. I think he's frustrated with that one.
Yeah, we did this before in Imola.
Yeah.
You know when he's frustrated. But the thing is, he was quite a bit. He was a couple of tenths up. He was only 3 tenths up on his previous best before he decided to pit, didn't he? He's across the line. He's 2 tenths up, so still P2. But yeah, he's annoyed with himself.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Oh, got a yellow. Mitch is on the go.
We've got a brilliant conversation between Jizzy and Matty. Matty says Jack is going AU2 minimum. Jizzy says he wants to go to AU3. Matty says looks like there will be negotiations. Fair enough, Matty, you still have a big job to do, if I can say so myself. But that will help, mate. No worries, I will be there for you. Let's see what Tuspel can do. On towards the old start-finish straight. Still a shame, in my opinion, that it's not the start-finish straight anymore. I would have loved to have a Cops turn 1, like I had on the first F1 game I played, which was F1 26.
Oh, F1 2006 was your first game?
Yes, I was 5 back then.
Ah, my first F1 game was F1 99, and I was 5.
Hey.
F1 99, PS1. PS1, mate.
Or PS1, yeah, I started on the
days.
PS2.
yeah, that's the year. So I had 2000, I didn't have 2006, I had the PS3 edition, which was Championship edition. But yeah, the old start line up, because I've been to Silverstone a few times, the old start line is iconic, you've got all those grandstands around there, that area. Obviously it used to be a little bit closer, because the reason why the runoff's so big now is from the motorcycles, but yeah, that Cops turn 1, there are a few famous moments. Obviously there was a famous moment last year, but that moment wouldn't have happened at Cops, Verstappen and Hamilton, potentially, if the F1 hadn't changed the way it is. But yeah,
True.
I get what you mean. It was a quality area to start the lap of Cops, and obviously when the cars came out of the pits as well, it was always very exciting just for entrance for Max and Beckett, where they get ahead or just carrying from behind the guy that pitted before them. But yeah, unfortunately they had to improve it, and now it means that they got 2 paddocks, which MotoGP still use, interestingly. MotoGP
Yes, true. True.
And I think it arguably makes it more exciting for MotoGP to have it there, because as we've seen in the past with Rins and Marquez a couple of years ago, like that finish line just after that corner, which is a proper corner on a bike. Yeah, it makes it interesting, it makes it exciting. So,
to go on board with Roland as he's just behind Marina, who got a little bit onto the grass through Mackets and Beckett. Roland is down by 2 tenths, so I don't think it's going to be an improvement for the both of them, which means that Danny Boy can jump some positions. We've got Jimmy James already finished with Bama finished, Tuspel going into the pit, Charlie finished in P4, so it's going to be an improvement for Marina or Profodes, question mark. It is for Marina, not for Profodes. Danny Boy is not going to improve as well. Roland backed out of that lap.
Yeah, he did.
As he was probably hoping to be dropped out of the top 10. But that's definitely not going to happen, as everyone has done their lap, with Stampy not being able to do so, as he invalidated every single one of them. Unlucky for Stampy. Really good qualifying session by Jimmy James. Tuspel is putting the pressure on him, as we will have a very, very interesting battle for the championship upper hands.
And the thing is, with Roland, he won't realise this yet, but if he had let his time improve, even if it was a tenth quicker, okay, it would only have got him 1 place. But if it was more than a tenth, potentially could have had, up as P3. So it must have been very close for him to think, "Now there's no point, going for this lap."
So here we have it, the qualifying results for today's race. Jimmy James takes pole position with a 1:26.8. We've got Bama in P2. Two-spell in P3. Big championship battle up on our hands. Marina P4, Charlie P5, Profotis P6, Danny Boy P7, Mitch P8, Hasmania P9, Sygate rounds off the top 10. We've got Hilly P11, Tichy P12, Massa P13, Electric Blade P14, Max P15, Blaze P16, Stumpy P17. We've got a timer as well, so hopefully we don't have to restart the lobby, which you absolutely love to see.
Yeah, we've got an exciting race to look forward to. And obviously there's guys outside the top 10. I expect most of them to start in the medium. Now I have seen in competitive race leagues on this game that being outside, it depends on the situation. Like if you start outside the top 10 on those medium tyres, and the guys who have pitted early get caught up in back markers that haven't pitted yet, if it's a bunch of cars, it's actually quite tricky to overtake. It's a bit like Austria, where you have this DRS train effect. So it's kind of, you have to be careful with, if you are starting on the softs on those top 10, particularly the guys towards the front, when they choose to pit. If they end up falling behind, if a lot of the guys outside top 10 start on mediums, which I expect so, and they get caught up in that issue, those traffic, then it can stop them progressing. And once those medium runners further up do pit, they're going to have such an advantage catching up again. So, yeah, it might not happen, but it's something I've seen in the past. It is tricky to overtake when you've got a bunch of cars around, just because of that DRS train.
Yeah, 100%. And you can't afford yourself to make a mistake needing to pit for a front wing change, because the pit lane is so long around here. You lose so much time making a pit stop that you definitely want to make the one stop. You definitely don't want to go into the pit twice, as you will probably be at the back of the grid when you come out of the pits. So a lot of things to think about for everyone picking their optimal strategy. We all know that the top 10 will be unsolved, no surprises there, but I'm, like you said, really interested to see what everyone outside of the top 10 decided to do. So we've got Tichy, Mazza, Blade, Max, Stumpy all on mediums. The rest decided to go out on softs. That means Hilly and Blaze didn't use their advantage of going on to a different compound. They are on softs as well, like the complete top 10. So, Lewis, get in prediction for the podium tonight.
Okay, so predictions. I mean, we are very good at these predictions, Lord. I mean, Jammy's. I don't want to jinx it, but as you've asked me, Jammy is normally, if he's at the front, he's very good at controlling the races. He struggles more when he's having to come through. So if he can get a clean start, I do fancy Jammy James for the win and the championship. And then the other two places, it's tricky to look past, again, Bama. And, I mean, it's not two-spell. I fancy a Charlie getting on podium as well.
I'm gonna spice some things up. I think Bama will take victory tonight, as he looked really strong in qualifying, but just couldn't get that lap together. So I'm going Bama P1, Jamie James P2. I'm gonna go with Roland P3, and I'm not biased at all.
Love to see it.
So yeah, everyone warming up the tires. The soft runners more likely to keep those tires a little bit cooler than the mediums, as they will get much quicker up to temperature, especially after one lap, getting so close to each other. As Bama is overtaking Jamie James already, as he wants to do exactly this on the next lap already, I assume. waiting for everyone to get into their grid positions, and then we are good to go for 26 laps of action here at Silverstone. 30 people watching at the moment. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. Use the bots as well to keep up to date on all the penalties and things like that. And then with everyone now lining up, we are good to go. So it is the 11th of January. It's the second race for these tier 3 people in 2022. We've got 5 red lights. It is Jimmy James on pole position, and away we go for the Silverstone race with Jimmy James having a really good start. Bama has a really bad start. It's Toospa already up into P2. Bama loses out on P2 and almost on P3 as well, but Marina has to back out. Proforus drops all the way down to P7. Danny Boy gets himself up into P5. Zygate now up into P7 as it's been a clean start so far. Stumpy already up by 2 positions.
And Aston Martin made contact with someone. He's ghosted, so he's dropped well back. But yeah, no spinners, although there was a bit of contact on the exit of that corner. There's a few 4 wide almost as they go into the long, almost like stadium-like section. But yeah, like you say, very clean driving. No incidents reported, no damage either.
Really good start by these guys. We have to mention Blaze Creator Magican is on the pad as he's normally on the wheel. His wheel just broke down, so bear in mind with him, he won't be that quick as usual. Don't expect any surprises from him there. It is Mitch trying to get past Zygate for P6 in this race as he looks really strong through Magnus and Beckers. Can he do it already with a little bit of slipstream? Of course, no DRS. That one will be enabled after 3 laps. And look at Mitch, he already tries to go for a move around the outside. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. Zygate breaks very, very late.
Oh, Mitch lost it!
No,
he's gonna hit the wall! Oh, he gets away with it. It was just a little bit too much throttle. It was wheel spin. Hopefully, did he get any damage? Yeah, he did.
I think he did, yeah. That's a shame for Mitch, and unless there is a safety car, and he gets a 5 seconds speeding as well. Unless a safety car comes out, that's pretty much race over already.
And you gotta keep going, because you never know with race leagues. But it is a bit boring just poodling around. I've had races like it before. Oh, there's a Mercedes had a massive moment in the background. That was Zygate as well. And Zygate's now lost a position because of it. So you think if Mitch had have waited, yeah, Zygate just lost the back end. He's using loads of time. It's like he's got a puncher. Has he got a puncher? He hasn't got a rear puncher, has he?
No, I don't think so.
No,
yeah, I understand what you mean. Because of the lighting as well, it seemed like there was a puncture, but he's good to go.
Yeah, that rear end is really struggling. It's very loose. He hasn't got the confidence at all. I was on board with him in Cops. It'd take a massive lift off the throttle. So where that happened, whether his car's too pointy in the heavy fuel load, and it's giving him oversteer, or he just had a moment and it's causing the rears to overheat right now. Meanwhile, Charlie and Danny Boy, side by side, almost making contact. Oh, they're still almost making contact. Great move from Charlie, finishing around the outside.
Is Danny gonna come back at him? No, he's not. Brilliant move by Charlie, like you said. Really well done round the outside. Lovely job. Bama is still stuck behind Toospa after his terrible start at the beginning. Toospa now outside of that DRS win 1.2 seconds to Jimmy James in P1 as it's not looking good for Toospa, and Bama is struggling to get past the Ferrari in front. We know Toospa is good at defending and he can make his car as wide as possible, but Bama, he definitely wants to get past on this straight. DRS will be enabled this time round, and I think this is job done for Bama already after the braking zone. Yes, it is. As Danny Boy picks up 3 seconds in the process. Oh, Toospa tries to come back. They make contact. But Bama has the inside for the next turn, and he manages to stay in front. That was a little bit tricky there.
Now, if I was Bama, I wouldn't use my ERS right now. He's burning all his ERS. Why? If Toospa wanted to go back past you, the problem is now, Toospa's going to get DRS anyway. You might as well have just saved the ERS. And if Toospa wanted to get past you, which he wouldn't, because Toospa's going to be smart, he's going to think, right, well, I'll just try and pass you here. There's a bit of a gap. Bama's going to have to deploy all his ERS to try and keep ahead. It's just going to have enough space to do it. But that has given Jamie James a bit more breathing room.
Yeah, 1.4 second, 1.5. Jamie James slowly starting to get away from this group of cars. We've got Profotis and Marina going at it side by side through the last turn. Profotis has to run wide. This is Max Verstappen and Leclerc all over again. And Marina has to give up that position. That means Roland promotes himself up into P4. Lovely battle between those two. Oh, and he gives back the position. Probably because of an illegal overtake going round the outside. No, I think because he went off track. It was an illegal overtake.
That's fair enough. Sport, he obviously decided that himself. I don't think the game doesn't normally do that, but yeah, fair play.
I think.
Now,
yeah, I think Tuspa and Mama, they have to work together if they want to get back into that 1 second window. I think Jamie James is too strong to give up those 4/10s over a lap. I think they, with the DRS, have to work. We've got like two big straights where you can make full use of the DRS. If you're like really close, let Tuspa overtake and do the same after Mackets and Beckett's going up to the straight we're going to now, and try to work together to get back into that 1 second window, because otherwise Jamie James will just keep this gap, save up the ERS and just use it when needed.
Yeah, Jamie is quicker because he's not having to use the ERS. Bama is having to use the ERS. And just going through Maggotts and Beckett's, he lost 2/10 through Maggotts and Beckett's, and he's using the ERS as well. So he should be, if he was quicker, he should be able to catch up. And he's just not able to catch up. Jamie James, it's his personal best that lap, but Jamie's still got lots of energy left. And this is such a power-sensitive circuit, so if you are using the ERS, it would be noticeable in your lap time.
Yeah, 100%.
Jamie's just got it. Jamie's got it in the pocket.
Keep an eye out for Tichy as well. He is the first medium runner already up into P9, so he's doing a really good job. It's looking like a very positive race for him so far with the DRS, maybe trying to get past Seigate. Yes, he does. Seigate doesn't defend, and Tichy down the inside he goes, and he moves himself up into P8. Really well done by Tichy. He now wants to get close to Danny Boy. 1.8 seconds is the gap. Danny Boy is just on the edge of getting DRS from Charlie, so he needs to push to stay within that 1 second window through Mackets and Beckett's. They go, but we're quickly gonna focus on the battle between Mama and Tuspro, and Marina and Profotis as a few. A move is going to happen between one of those two battles. Let's see, is Tuspro gonna go for the move already, or is he a little bit too far behind? It's the second option, but Profotis isn't. He got past Marina for P4, really well done. And Danny Boy dropped outside of the 1 second window, so now it's a time for Tichy to push and maybe get into that P7.
Yeah, Roland was able to do that move quite easily because of Marina running a bit wide in Beckett's, and he had to back out, so momentum was massively lost out. Roland, there you go, fastest lap of the race. He has got the pace. Yeah, Tichy is interesting. He's only 8 seconds behind the race leader right now. And his pace is going to be pretty even.
Sorry to interrupt. Hasmania, a little bit of a moment coming through turn 1. Almost lost the car, saved it. Stumpy tried to go round the outside of turn 1, but he couldn't make it stick as he went onto the grass. But that was a very interesting battle between those two. As Stumpy now has to defend from Electric Blade as he got a terrible exit. Is he... No, virtual safety car, never mind.
That was Blaze. That was because of Blaze. Blaze had an off, and weirdly that set the PFC off. Blaze is absolutely fine. I don't think Blaze... Has he got damage? Yes, he has. Yeah, he has got damage. Yeah, so he was a big off. Yeah, no front wing.
It's just a brilliant moment though for Bomma to save up all of his ERS.
Yeah. Mitch will be like going, God damn it, why isn't this a safety car?
Yeah, 100%. He will be screaming at Michael Masi.
It's called a motor race.
No, it's the wrong decision.
Yeah. Toto, it's a motor race. Going car racing.
Oh, it still gives me goosebumps. Oh, we've got someone going into the pits. It's Tuspel. He's taking the risk under the virtual safety car conditions. And I can understand that decision because he will lose less time compared to everyone else will pit on the green flag conditions. The only downside is, if there is a safety car coming out in the next couple of laps, his advantage is completely out of the window, and his race is pretty much over. But if it will be green flag conditions until everyone on the softs will have to make a stop, he's in a prime position to take some points off Jimmy James. DRS is enabled, it's green conditions now, and he's almost at the end of the pit lane. So I think he lost, well, I think he gained by like 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, he would have gained massive amount of time because of how slow that pit lane is. Obviously, because of how slow that pit lane is, you can gain much more through a virtual safety car pit than you do in green flag conditions. So he only went green right at the end of that exit, so it was almost a perfect stop for him. And obviously a lot of others pitted as well. Those guys won't quite get the same advantage because they were a little bit further behind Two Spell. But that's an interesting game now. Because what Jamie James is now going to have an issue with, potentially, because I'm looking at the gaps. So Two Spell is 25 seconds behind Jamie James. I don't know what the gap is supposed to be for a pit stop round.
Wait a minute, we've got Marina going down the inside of Roland through Stowe. It turns out to be the outside now for Marina, as Roland defends the inside. They leave each other the room. Marina now gets the inside, and that should be job done for Marina, unless Roland is going to hold it round the outside once again, and he defends. What a move from the Dutchman in P3, as he keeps it round the outside and defends his position like an absolute beast. Marina there with great respect between the both of them, and unfortunately for him doesn't come out on top, but he has another shot at it at the straight, as he will get the DRS, and he's so close to the back of the Red Bull. Gets a little bit of a bad exit, but I think he should be able to get back at road. No, he doesn't, as he's gonna save up some euros maybe for after Maccas and Package. But that was an interesting battle between those two.
Yeah, great battle by the two of them, and clean, fair racing. That's what we want from the Contest Speed Racing League series. That's why we all enjoy race leagues, is for those moments where we can battle hard and fair and avoid the chaos of normal open lobbies. As fun as they can be, they're sometimes questionable racing. But it's hard and fair, and I love it. This is great between them. The gap between Two Spell and Jamie James isn't. It's like for like at the moment. So Jamie's not able to gain, but at the same time Two Spell is not hauling his way in either. The pit strategy is normally around lap 10, isn't it? Around here on a soft tyre?
Yeah, something like that.
So it's not, for Two Spell, it is an interesting strategy, but it's doable always. Yellow and the exit.
Yeah, it's Blaze once again.
Yeah, Blaze is really struggling with the pad, and he's about to be lapped.
Yeah, understandable there. He's only done 10 laps on the pad, and the transition from the wheel going back to the pad is enormous, as I can say so myself. So all the respect for still turning up and deciding to race. Can only have respect for that one. We've got, I think Stampy will made a mistake, as he lost 2 positions to Blade and Max. No damage from what I can see so far, but yeah, it doesn't look good for Stampy as well.
No, and I reckon it must be 30 seconds then that you lose around here because of that slow pit lane, how long it is. Mitch's like well behind everyone as well, but he's had to gain quite a bit of time. But yeah, I'm going to guess that Two Spell will be, I'm guessing like 6 seconds clear, maybe 5 seconds clear when eventually Jamie James does pit.
Yeah, the only downside for him is that his tires will be a bit older compared to the ones from Jamie James, or as Marina picks up 3 seconds by running wide coming out of Stowe. Yeah, he's done 1 lap now on those mediums. It will be 2 when they cross the finish line. It just depends on when Jamie James is going to stop, as the pit window is open. As you already said, Lewis, between lap 10 and lap 12 are these soft runners expected to go into the pits for their medium tire. Yeah, it just depends. I think Jamie James now, he will want to extend his soft run as much as possible to make sure he is on much fresher mediums compared to the mediums of two spell to have an advantage towards the end of the session. If he pits now, the advantage isn't going to be that big, and two spell will have a couple of seconds advantage compared to Jimmy James. So extending the stint on the softs and try to gain all of that time back on fresher mediums. That's the task for Jimmy James in the Haas, currently running in P1 and trying to get the championship secured tonight.
This is the VSC has made it interesting. I mean, obviously, two spell, like you say, is going to be massively affected will be affected with the tyre strategy. But we know how good two spell is at defending. Obviously, it also depends on once Jammy does pit.
Ooh, here comes
think
Bama.
He might get away with it. It's Bama pitting. Yes.
Yeah, so he's the first one from the top 5 to go into the pits on lap 10. The first lap of when the pit window actually opened. So, yeah, but Ronan is setting fastest lap after fastest lap, so he's definitely pushing. He used all of his ERS as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it shows that there's still life left in these tyres.
Yeah, but two spell is now finally starting to eat into Jammy James' gap. Like, it got to 25.8, it's now 25.1. So
okay.
I feel like the crossover is coming, and the undercut is going to be crucial here. I think Jammy James has got enough of a gap, but because of Bama pitting, it forces Jammy's hand. Surely Jammy's going to have to pit this next lap.
Yeah, we've got Mazda now in P4 and Tichy in P5. They are the first ones on the mediums who still have to make the stop, but of course they will pit for his fresh set of softs. Mazda is only 4.7 seconds behind Charlie, so he's doing a really good job. Maybe a podium for Mazda at the end of the race, you never know.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. The other interesting thing, two spell is nearly 6 seconds clear of Bama. So that gives you a perspective once Jammy James pits, where he's going to fall behind. So it's going to be around 4 seconds. I feel like Jammy needs to pit because that gap is getting eaten, and Jammy does pit. But Profodas doesn't. Neither does Charlie, which I do question. There we go. This is the moment. Where will Jammy... I think Jammy's going to sit. He's going to come out in between two spell and Bama. I don't think Bama's going to be able to haul him in.
Two spell coming through Stowe now. Let's see. Past the pit entry. Where is Jammy James gonna come out on track? Let's get the track map up on screen. You can see the grey dot still in the pit lane. And it's two spell getting past now. So this is the time he's going to win. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds at least.
Yeah. And Jammy just gets ahead of Bama. But Bama's going to get DRS now. And he's got cold tyres. It takes a couple of corners for these tyres to warm up. Bama's going to get good traction here. And they'll deploy the DRS.
Well, at least Bama.
Great for Bama.
Yeah, at least he's within that 1 second window again. That's crucial for the race. That's crucial for his chance of taking victory in this race. So, ooh, Bama! Oh, he had a massive tank slapper as he ran onto the curb, but he kept it on track. He's still within that 1 second window, which he worked so hard for over the last lap. And now it's going to be very interesting to see how quickly Jammy James can close the gap to Tuspo in front, as Tuspo is currently in a net P1.
Yeah, well,
rolling into the pits.
Lap. It takes a lap. Charlie gets caught speeding. It takes a lap for these mediums to get up to temperature. And this is the problem with going later. Yeah, okay, you've 1 lap fresher tyres, but you've given Bama now a chance to be sticking with you now. You've got this constant, and now he's going to have to use the RS. It's one of those tracks, I feel like going longer doesn't actually help you. Track position, although it's a track that you can overtake on, if you're the race leader, I feel like it's key to keep your gap. And he did have the icon, it was ready within the lap Bama pitted. His pit window did open, and Jammy decided to go longer, but only by 1 lap. And it has meant now that he has got that pressure, which he didn't have. Even before he had a buffer, now he's going to have to constantly be pressured. And the gap between him and two spell is 40, 50, 70, So it's 4 seconds. So he's going to try and gain 4 seconds. Admittedly, they're 5-lap pressure tyres, but Two Spell now is in DRS with Stumpy, so he's going to be able to have the advantage of a bit of help with DRS here with Stumpy ahead of him. Oh, we got a crash.
Mania retires. Is he going to trigger a safety car?
Or he's in the pits. He's done it. I think he's in the pits.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's in the pits. Yeah, copy. My mistake. So, through Megas and back as they go. Jimmy James and Bama in a net P2 and P3. Is Bama gonna go for the move already? His car seems to be really tail happy, struggling on exits. So maybe you want to get past Jimmy James as soon as possible. Is he gonna go for the move already into Stowe? No, he's not. Because I think Blaze is going to retire in the pits. Let's see, Bama now. Blaze is definitely not going to retire. Marina, 5 seconds for speeding in the pits. He is going to retire. Yeah, he was running.
Marina's crashed.
Oh, is that
or is
not?
Marina pitted as well? But I
Yeah,
think
it's in the
Marina's...
pits. Yeah, it's in the pits.
Yeah. Alright, okay. Yeah.
3.4 seconds, 3.3 seconds between Jimmy James and Two Spell.
Oh, Two Spell and Stumpy! It's now Two Spell's getting held up by Stumpy. Oh dear. This is not going to help Two Spell. Two Spell goes on the outside. Oh my god. I don't know if that was a smart decision because now Stumpy's going to have DRS. But he obviously felt the need. He had to do it.
And the gap is 2.5 seconds now between him and Jimmy James.
Yeah, but he had to make the move, I suppose, because he was losing too much time behind Stumpy. And now they will have to try and contend getting past Stumpy. Stumpy's coming. Oh, no, Stumpy's not there. So yeah, the gap's come down. He lost a bit of time with Stumpy, but Two Spell will be hoping that the guys on the medium stay out a little bit longer. But I feel like the medium runners are going to probably be pitting very shortly.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they will go maybe 1 or 2 laps more than they did already, and then they will make a pit stop because these guys did at least 10 laps on worn softs on high fuel. They will be on fresh softs with less fuel in the car, so it should be doable. And these guys should pit pretty much any minute.
Yeah. Stumpy still gets the advantage of that DRS there.
If I was Bama, I would try to get past Jimmy James on the next DRS straight, because if you allow Jimmy James to get either DRS from Stumpy or Wizard, it is going to be a very, very hard task to gain positions, because it will just be a DRS straight to pretty much the end of the race if nothing spectacular happens. So he needs to make the move now if he wants to have any shot at taking victory in this race.
And I think he's thinking that, or he's listening to us in one ear. He's lining him up. Jammy's going to use DRS. They're all using it. Yeah, here we go. This is the moment Bama's lining him up.
And he's listening to what I said. You love to see
Stumpy.
it.
Look at Stumpy ahead. Tried to make a move on Two Spell in the end, but didn't get it done. But Bama is ahead. And this is it. Bama's almost in that DRS zone ahead. But crucially, Two Spell's got a buffer here, with Stumpy able to just hold on enough to be able to get into the DRS zone. Oh, Bama's not quite in DRS. Bama's going to have to deploy just one more DRS zone.
He has to survive.
There, he seems he has to pace. He has to pace and hold on.
Fair play to Stumpy as well, by the way. He's on 15 lap old mediums and he's able to keep up with Two Spell. Fair play to him, you can't say anything else.
Oh,
Blaze is off for turn 2.
I mean, if there was a safety car now, that would help us. The medium runners who need to pit massively.
He's back going again. Place doesn't retire.
I think Stumpy and Two Spell's lost a lot of pace here. Stumpy's able to actually keep up, and Two Spell has an issue now because Two Spell hasn't got DRS.
Yeah, and
Two
Bama
Spell's
is
gonna get
within,
overtaken.
and Bama is within the DRS window of Stumpy, so he's gonna close in even more. Here comes Stumpy, and he gets past Two Spell. He is completely destroying Two Spell's plan of taking victory in this race. He defends the inside now. Is Two Spell gonna go the long way around? They break late. Two Spell
he's
now
going
has the
around
inside. He's gonna
Oh.
stick his nose in. Still side by side. We saw it between Profotis and
Bama's
Marina.
lost it.
Bama is off, and he's back
Saves
on
it
again.
Oh, he's going to be kicking himself with that. Jammy has track position again, all that hard work. Oh, smart from Two Spell, dives it down the inside. He should have DRS as well.
Ooh.
And he does. Stumpy won't. Stumpy will struggle to keep ahead of Jammy James. I don't know if this works. Stumpy will use up all his energy. Jammy can't get past, and this is what can help Two Spell. Is obviously the DRS train.
And Stumpy now has to defend. He has to think. Well, he can think in two ways. He can either think about trying to get past Two Spell again, or trying to defend from Jamie James behind. But I think he's going for option one, trying to overtake Two Spell once again.
Yeah.
And look at this. Look at Profotis, by the way, because of all of this battling going on. He's pretty much within the 1 second window as well.
He's almost, yeah. But still, Two Spell has to be careful here. He's doing it again. Oh, they're in contact. Oh, Stumpy breaks very deep. Oh, and he hits Two Spell. Oh, and Two Spell's lost the rear end and he's spun. Oh, Two Spell's not going to be happy with that. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Yeah, I think Stumpy broke very deep. But he had that inside line. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, because
and that's cost
terrible camera angle from Codemasters, we couldn't see anything of it because I was actually on board with Two Spell and then,
I was watching
crazy.
from the rearview mirror of Stumpy, and yeah, Stumpy just he braked late. I mean, see, I don't know if Stumpy really needs to battle. They're on two different tyre strategies. Like Stumpy didn't really need to battle Two Spell like a madman. In personally, like he could have just. You know, they're not in the same terms. Stumpy needs to pit again. They're both losing time because of it, and yeah, and it caused Two Spell to be in that issue where that occurred. So I don't think Two Spell will be too happy with Stumpy in that regards.
Oh, Bama, I was so close to the back of Jimmy James and he actually makes contact with the Haas driver in the front. But now we've got Roland turning up to the party as well. We've got 4 people battling for the lead. As Stumpy pits, it will be a freeway battle for the lead, but it's just brilliant to watch. As we've got Jimmy James going for the move and he gets it done. Is Bama going to go for the move as well? When is Stumpy going into the pits? He's definitely not going to do so. And he's doing it once again. Oh, smart play by Bama. This is a brilliant play by Bama. Now he gets past Stumpy as well, and he is right on the tail of Jamie James. And we've got 7 brilliant laps still left in this race.
Yeah. And Bama's doing exactly what I was about to say.
Bama goes for it.
He was thinking of it, but this could be an error. Stumpy's having a alert. Oof. But it doesn't matter. Bama's got a great lineup now. Jammy's going to deploy the energy. Jammy's got a lot more energy. Down the inside.
Profotis as well going for a move.
Yeah. And they'll have the grip advantage over Stumpy. Now, again, he's using the energy banner. Why burn the energy now? We've got a yellow in sector 2, and that's an accident outside of Cops.
There's Blaze.
Yeah.
Moves out of the way nicely. Oh, Stumpy gets 3 seconds for running wide coming out of Cops. Profotis is right in this, and I predicted it. Bama P1, Jamie James P2, Roland P3. I don't want to cheer myself up, but at this moment of time, my prediction is absolutely perfect, and it hasn't happened to me ever. Oh, Jamie James now he's going to ruin it down the inside of Stowe. Bama also round the Oh my days, this is brilliant.
He's done it, another yellow, but Stumpy's still in there.
Roland, a little bit tricky on exit, but he keeps it on track. Keep it on the black stuff.
Yeah, it's high, very intense action now. Roland lining up Jammy James.
Roland just needs to save up the ERS. He's burned too much trying to get into the battle. Just save it up, wait for these guys to battle it out, and try to overtake on the last laps, because he's using it out of the exits of a couple of corners, and he's just not allowing himself to save up that bit of ERS that he maybe is going to need towards the end of the race.
Got a 10-second time penalty for Danny Boy. It's been a major cut.
Yeah, I've got pretty much half the track there. Oh, Jimmy James, a little bit tricky going through corps, wobbling with the car. He gets a lot of dirty air from the back of that Mercedes. Roland as well. You can see the understeer through Meckers and Beckers, but he keeps within that 1 second window. In fact, he's within half a second of these two cars in front. Jimmy James with the DRS. Is he gonna go for the same move once again? Yes, he is. Is Bama trying to hold it around the outside once again? Yes, he is. This is just a replica, a replay of last lap.
Stumpy finally pits. Oh, this is great. 3-3. Roland's watching, and Roland doesn't have much energy left. If I was Roland, I'd make a move now on Jammy James. He looks, and he has to break. Oh, he goes deep, Jammy. He has to do that, and this is the problem with Jammy. He's having to defend and attack, and this is going to give him an awful exit, and this gives Bama a couple of more attempts where he doesn't have to use his energy. Or let's say that he used a bit of energy. Yeah, it's Jammy had to break late there.
Can we have a little bit of a moment, by the way? Charlie is only 1.5 seconds behind these guys, 1.4. He's getting into the fight as well.
Yeah.
In a bit. Two spell as well. Imagine a 5-way battle for the lead. We haven't seen that ever, if not for a very long time, in Tunnels of Speed or EU3.
Yeah. I mean, at this rate, Jammy would still win the championship?
No, because he has to outscore Wizard by 18 points.
Ah, okay, got you. Oh, here comes Jammy again. Will Jammy be a little less... Yeah, Jammy's more ahead now.
Oh yeah, he will, but... Or... Wait.
I'll have a look.
No, or if Wizard fails to outscore Jimmy James by more than 10 points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Wizard is definitely not outscoring Jimmy James at this stage of the race.
Yeah, if he outscores Wizard by 18 points, or if Wizard fails to outscore James by more than 10 points.
Yeah, so at this stage, Jimmy James will be crowned EU3 champion.
Okay, if he outscores Wizard by 18 points, or if Wizard fails to outscore James by 10 points.
Yeah, so like if Tuspa retired, then it would have been an easy one, because then he just needed to finish at least P2. Because Jamie James is now in P1, but Wizard is still on track. Wizard has to finish at least like 3 positions front, or
so it's,
at least 10 points more. Yeah, he has to at least score 10 points more than Jamie James does. Oh, Profotus picks up 3 seconds, and that can be crucial, because the two front runners don't have any penalties. That means that Roland will get an extra 3 seconds added on to his race time at the end of the race. And here comes Bama through Stowe round the outside, and he gets the job done. These guys are battling for 7 straight laps now, at least. You love to see it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the guys who started on the mediums, Tichy, who led that, he is now 4 seconds behind 2 spell. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch up, to be fair. But they're coming back into action. It's coming back into play towards those guys.
Let's see. Stumpy with the fastest lap, 128.3. Of course, he's on fresh softs. Mitch up into P12, 20 lap old mediums. He's doing a really good job to at least score some points in this race. Bama uses all of the track available to break the slipstream. Jamie James is definitely not going to go for a move through Cops.
Next time we cross the line, it will be 3 to go. Jammy's done very good again to save that ERS. Bama has to be careful, Rowan is so close there to making the move.
Photos with a very late move on Bama.
Oh, and that is going to be crucial, because that has broken everything. Bama's going to be so frustrated. Charlie, look at Charlie. And Charlie has 3 seconds. Oh, no. That means Charlie
already
now
had
has
3 seconds. So
Charlie has 11-second penalties worth.
Ooh, yeah, he's got 5 seconds for speeding in the pits as well.
Right. And Tichy now gets another penalty, so that's 6 seconds. But yeah, look at that. That's crucial for Jamie James now. That move that Roland did, I think it was a little bit early. Could have saved it for a little bit later, waited to see what happened between Bama and Jamie. Yeah, now look at it. Jamie is using the ERS more. As Stumpy retires
in the pits. Not a position for Midge. He only needs one more position to finish in the points. Tuspel must have made a mistake. He's 6.2 seconds behind Charlie. Here comes Bama. Not for a move into Stowe.
Oh, Bama and Roland again, and Roland's off.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, Tuspel dropped back quite a bit. Charlie's pace has been rapid in this second half of the race. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, so it's now Tuspel. That's the thing, Tuspel. This is something so rare. You don't normally see Tuspel get a penalty. Tuspel's not going to get a penalty today.
Got a battle as well for P6 between Tichy and Electric Blade. Both are on softs. Electric Blade is on 2 lap older softs though. But with the DRS, can't get the move done.
Oh, got a crash. It's Danny Boy.
Danny Boy.
And
Don't
there won't be
trigger
any
a safety car anymore.
now.
Yeah, with only 1.5 laps to go.
And he pits.
Luckily for Profodes, Charlie has a lot of penalties, so he will still finish on the podium if he stays within 8 seconds of Charlie. Tuspel wants to finish on that podium as well, although he's not going to defend his championship with it. Oh, and Blaze retires through Mackets and Beckets. That's so unlucky for Blaze.
And Electric Blade's through.
And Electric Blade gets past through Stowe. P6 now for the Haas driver. We started the last lap. It's the last lap for Jamie James. It's the last lap for Bama and Charlie as well. Is Charlie going for a ambitious move? Is he going to fight for P2 in this race, which he won't get because of penalties? Is Profodes going to finish on the podium, or is he going to be Tuspel? They will be fighting for the last podium spot. Here comes Charlie with a move down the inside. Bama is probably not going to defend, knowing that he will get the track or the place back on penalties. Profodes and Tuspel now. Tuspel is going to go for a late lunge. They make contact. Tuspel pushes Roland off. And he takes P4. There was a little bit of a questionable move from Tuspel as he forced his way past Roland.
And they were battling. It was 3 seconds as well, both of them.
Now Bama and Charlie, is something going to happen on Hanger Stray, isn't it?
Yep, hanger straight, yep.
Here they go. Jimmy James will be taking victory in this race. Charlie is defending and weaving all across the straight. Obama is going for a move around the outside, or is he going to end in tears? Round the outside, and he gets the job done. Is Charlie gonna come back at him? No, he defends the inside. Brilliant done. Roland and Two-Spell are going at it. Still side by side. Roland defends the inside. We have to miss Jimmy James. Who's gonna come out on top? Is it going to be Roland? Is it going to be... It is going to be Roland. But with Two-Spell finishing in P4, we switch back to Jimmy James, as he will be our Tier 3 champion in Console Speed Season 8. Brilliant season from Jimmy James. Dominant performance on pretty much all of the races, and a deserved champion in my eyes. Sorry we couldn't get the finish of your race, but there were some amazing battles going on as well, but you will get your shine right now. Brilliant done by Jimmy James this whole season.
Yeah, Tichy in the end, he ran out of fuel. So Tichy lost out quite a few places. In the end, Tichy dropped down to 9th.
Wee. Who are we waiting on? Is it Mazza? It is Mazza. That's it. Let's replay your driver of the day. Well done by him. The main man is the one we're seeing now, Jimmy James. Newly crowned Tier 3 Console Speed Season 8 champion. As I said, fully deserved. Really well done. Taking victory in today's race as well on home soil. The way you want to do it. So here we have it. Jimmy James taking victory in today's race. Bama P2. Roland taking P3 at the end because of the amount of penalties for Charlie. Two-Spell P4. He will be frustrated about what happened in the race. Charlie P5, as I mentioned, on penalties. Electric Blade P6, Shygate P7, Max P8, he will be happy. Tichy ran out of fuel, P9, Hilly taking the final point in this race. Unlucky for Mitch as he spun coming out of Stowe on lap 1, but he managed to do 22 laps on the mediums, really well done by him. Massa P12, Danny Boy P13, Stampy P14, he made it a really interesting race by going very long on the mediums. Blaze P15, unlucky for him, he retired on the last lap. Well, respect for going on the pad and still drive. Marina P16, Hasmania P17. But the main thing to conclude after this race is that equals Jimmy James is champion of Tier 3. We're gonna invite Jimmy James, Bama and Roland to the commentary box. Get the Haas up on screen. Just waiting for Jimmy James to join the commentary box as well. We're gonna start off with P3 as we always do. Roland, happy you're in the commentary with us. First of all, congratulations on P3. Probably frustrated as there was a little bit more in it. You went for a pretty late audacious move on the final chicane on Bama. Was that maybe a mistake looking back at it?
That was not even a mistake, that was just a fuck up. I completely locked up there and I was like, oh fuck, and then I slid in between and I was trying to give the position back, but well, apparently Bama was not that pleased that he hit me in the lap after at the same chicane, but everything is fine, so all good. But I made a fuck up there. I just completely locked up and I just slid in between them.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, they well, pretty average start, I would say. Um, then solid mid period, but after the pit stop, because of the battling going on in front, you slowly started to close in a gap. Were you thinking about taking the victory at some stage in the race, or did you know that the guys in front had a little bit more pace than you had?
Well, I was just, yeah, it sounds arrogant. I don't want to sound like that, but I was just stuck. I couldn't make the move on them because they had also straight line speed, and I just couldn't make the move. So yeah, I was just sitting there waiting, sitting duck, waiting for them, hoping that they made a mistake, they screwed up each other or something, maybe pick up a penalty. But then I did it myself, so yeah, I didn't help myself.
Yeah, it
So
was a
yeah,
hard.
I was hoping for a win, of course, but yeah. Unfortunately, Jamie took it again, so he goes up next season.
Looking back at it, would you have done something different today's race, or is it just the way it is and happy with the P3?
Um, Trying to not lock up, and next time even practicing more, because I have to, well, to battle Jamie and Bama more, I think, because it's just awesome to have fast guys in front of me, and I have just to pick up the pace and beat them as well. So I hope it will be happening this season, but we will see.
Fair enough, mate. First, congratulations on the P3, fully deserved, really well done, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, Bama. Congrats, Jamie.
Thank you, Val. Thank you.
Going towards P2, Bama, first of all, congratulations on taking P2 in this race. Yeah, at the end, didn't turn out as you probably would have liked it, but some great battles between you and Jamie. How do you look back at those battles between, well, the last two laps between Roland and Jamie?
Yeah, it was a great battle between the three of us. Probably should have been five or four of us with the wizard contact from Stumpy. That was a shame for him. But yeah, I was stuck behind Jamie. Well, we were pretty much switching positions every lap, and I was planning to try and stay behind him now until the final lap, final straight. But as Profoda said, he made a mistake into the chicane at the end of the lap and got me out of the DRS, which, I mean, it is what it is. People make mistakes, and you just gotta race after it.
Fair enough. Really well said. We saw the back end stepping out a couple of times on exit. Was that a problem you were struggling with all weekend, or was it like something that happened during the race which you didn't expect?
So I threw on. I haven't practiced this track, so I got home, threw on the setup, and immediately went into the race. So I had no idea how to drive the car till about lap 10. But later, stood on the mediums, final chicane. I came out of the corner, and I about spun straight into the wall. I have no idea how I saved it to the grass, but I was very lucky.
Yeah, we saw that happening. You saved it pretty well. After the pit stop, you went one lap earlier than Jamie James. And you went, well, when he came out, you were right behind him. Were you surprised by the amount of time you won by pitting one lap earlier, or did you have the knowledge about pitting one lap earlier, getting that advantage back?
I was gonna pit a lap before him, try and undercut him. I was expecting probably a 5/10 to second gain, but it was like 2 seconds that I gained, so that was actually surprising for me. I don't know if he messed up pit entry or something.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, at the end, you took P2, drove really well, and well, he's champion for a reason, so no shame, no shame about finishing behind him. Really well done, mate. Congratulations on P2, fully deserved.
Yep, thank you.
And we go on to the newly crowned champion, Jamie James. First of all, congratulations on finishing P1 in this race, and secondly, congratulations on becoming champion of Tier 3 Season 8. How does it feel?
Oh, it's a relief more than anything. Like Bam and Roland just said, it summed up. It sums up sort of a season where what could have been, because those laps at the end of me, Bama, and Roland fighting, like Bama said, switching places. It just shows what a tight championship it could have been. I know Roland obviously has other priorities, and Barmer's had a few unlucky escapes through the year or the season, shall I say? But again, it's a great feeling, and it's my first championship on an F1 game, and I've got to also thank Konzo from Tier One for engineering again, and he made some blinding calls and kept me up to date with Barmer where he was, and two spell as well. So yeah, no, it's a great feeling, and yeah, hope for a lot more in the future, especially what Roland says, closer and fighter as well.
Fair enough. Lovely to see that tier 1 people are helping out. Yeah, we saw Tuspo going into the pits during the virtual safety car. Was there any point going through your mind that you should have pitted as well under the virtual safety car, or was it always going to be the plan to pit late, being on the medium tire, fresher medium tire compared to everyone else, and just try towards the end?
Well, yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. I saw him, and I thought, oh, he's going onto the hard, but I was told he's gone onto the medium. So at that point, I thought, well, his tyres will probably be like dying at the end, so I wasn't too concerned at that point when he dove for the pits. But obviously, it was still in the back of my mind about when he came out in front of me. But unfortunately, like obviously, I think I joined just as it was being discussed. It was a bit rash from Stumpy, if I'm honest. It was a bit of a lunge and didn't give him much space. So when that happened, it was sort of a bit deflating a little bit for him and for me, because I thought we'd have had a really good battle, especially with the four of us getting involved. So that was a shame, and I feel for him on that one. But yeah.
Yeah, it was brilliant to watch. Unfortunately, it had to end for him. Next season, higher tier, other competitors, higher level. Are you looking forward to it, and what do you expect for next season?
Wait, I don't stay in tier 3.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it's a new challenge. Obviously, I've been in and out of some of the tier 2 and tier 1 races, and yeah, I think it'll be very close, and I think the racing will be, obviously, like I said, it's a higher level, so bigger challenge, but I'm looking forward to it very much.
100%. I'm looking forward as well to see how well you can do in a higher tier. But enjoy this championship, mate. Still a couple of races to go in this season, so just go enjoy it, do your best, and good luck for next season already.
Thank you, and again, thank you guys for commentating. Really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to watching it back as well.
It was a pleasure. So, with that, it rounds off the stream for today. Congratulations once again on everyone finishing on the podium, and once again, congratulations on Jamie winning the championship in Tier 3 Season 8. And thank you, Lewis, for joining me in the commentary box. It was a pleasure as always.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. And yeah, great battle, great race, and yeah, get the Champions League going. And yeah, be back next week for more on the Champions League. I mean, on Contest of Speed.
Champions League oh no, that's only going to start in February, unfortunately. But yeah, until then, we've got a lot of Contest of Speed action. So make sure you follow us on all the social media channels to keep up to date on everything that's going on related to COS. We will be back next week with another race, Spain, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I got it right. Get in. For now, have a good one. Stay safe and goodbye.